It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha. Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Brouhaha. Marshall and Dale at it again. What you need, Dale? A pen? There you go. Have you one?
Why do I need one?
I don't know. You're reaching for one. You're trying to get mine. There you go. Now you got one. What you gonna do with that thing?
I'm gonna write.
What you gonna write over there?
Just writing you a little thank you note for all your hard work.
Are you having a great day?
I am. What about yourself?
No, not so much.
Why? Oh well, I don't want to ask that.
Technology.
Ask me a sports
Like
question.
technology. How are you on sports technology?
Very, very limited.
Well, welcome to the club, man. Isn't it a great day to be alive? Living in the USA, baby.
Well, it's always a good day to live your life to the fullest.
Man, I like that whatever that is you got on that, a San Diego Padre type shirt or something.
Yeah. My son sent this to me.
Man, that's a nice son.
So I wear it every now and then. Just and I take a picture and send it to him.
He lives in San Diego, right?
Well, he
used to.
Yeah, he still does. He lives in the area. He doesn't live right downtown.
All right.
I don't think anybody lives downtown except people that live in condos.
Is he a sports nut too, like his dad?
Well, he still keeps up with Ole Miss. He can watch them out there on the SEC network.
Yeah.
He watches. Sometimes he'll watch Wayne County football. Stuff like that. Of course, it comes on out there about 5 p.m. So he's in the middle of driving home or eating or something like that. So,
Man, them people.
He might get in for the last few minutes. It's 9:30 here, and it's just 7:30 there. That's what it is. But anyway, he enjoys it out there.
Dale, I got to ask you a question.
Sure.
Are you happy with the sports world right now? Is all well with Dale in the sports world, or you got something in the sports world that's bothering you a little bit, or you're pretty happy?
Nah, not really. I don't think. Saints didn't lose this week, so that was good. That was good. Oh, they didn't play.
Well, hey, we'll take it any way we can get it.
Yeah, well, our local team moved on to the next round of the playoffs, so that's always good.
Well, one did and one didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the one that did.
Oh, okay.
One of them moved on, so that was good. But the other one, I thought they made a favorable
sure they did.
showing. So
we're proud of them all.
Sure.
We love our high school football teams around here, and our junior high ones, and all we got.
We do.
Yes, sir.
And we need to support them because those are our kids. And
they are, and they work so hard.
Yeah, they do. And people don't understand that. You're getting out there, it's not like it used to be. You come 2 weeks before school and practice about 3 times a day. Now it's it's a year-long journey.
Yeah. Kind of like being on a Brouhaha. Time seems to drag on.
Everybody's just begging to be on the show, I'm sure.
Well, I tell you what, you always manage to have a cast lined up. I mean, I got to hand it to you. I don't do anything but show up and turn on the.
Well, I do, but somebody's ever, I've got the show kind of lined up through the second week of December right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to, get confirmed on some times with everybody about the interview process. Yeah. But we got a good show today. We got Michael Katz with the Tupelo Journal, and I'm gonna tell you what, he is one of the up and coming great sports writers in America. He's been on Paul Feinbaum's show several times.
Wow.
And talking about Ole Miss. And we've got, next week, we're going to get a hilarious guest from New Orleans named John Forcade.
Man.
At least John has so far said he would be on. So we'll see about that, folks. But anyway, no, I love John. And then we got Tyler Cleveland the first week of December talking about Mississippi High School football championships. And then I got a plug, man.
Come on.
I got a guy named Marty Lamb. You ever heard of Marty Lamb?
That name rings a bell.
Well, he should. He used to coach at Southern Miss, Bay Springs High School.
Okay.
Anyway, he is the top scout for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Shut up. Man. How do you do it, Dale?
I don't know, but we're going to talk about baseball in the middle of December.
Hey, if you're a baseball fan, you can talk about 365, can't you? 24/7, 365.
Yeah. And I met a guy this weekend that said that he'd be on the show, and I'm going to have to arrange it with him. He's with the National Football Foundation, and they kind of head up the College Hall of Fame in Atlanta. And they've got a banquet, I think, sometime in December, maybe the 9th in Las Vegas. They're going to induct a guy named Nick Saban into the Hall of Fame and Terrence Metcalf from Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So
big offensive lineman, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did he play high school? Was he from Louisville or was he from Mississippi?
No, he was from, I think he was over there in the Delta somewhere.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if it was Alligator, Mississippi, but it's pretty close to it.
Pretty close. I've been so excited, and again, you know, we have a good time and everything, but I'm tipping my hat to you, Dale, right now for the guests you line up. I mean, it's really impressive, you know, and that's a real blessing for me. All I got to do is show up and listen, man, and I get to hear all these guys and know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I might as well say it. You know, people know. Sometime I appear on podcasts and radio interviews, and Hunter Dawkins, who's been on our show several times, called me yesterday when I was coming back from Oxford, and he asked me to be on his show yesterday, and so I did it, and we had a nice interview, but the whole time he was saying, man, I love being on y'all's show after we went off there. He said, man, I love being on your and Marshall's show. Y'all are fun. I mean, y'all are really good, and I'm gonna have to send a guy a Christmas present.
I love him, man. He's a hoot. Let me ask you something. Have you told us who our guest tonight is?
Michael Katz.
Okay. And did you tell us what he did?
He's with the Tupelo Journal.
Okay.
I'll tell you. He's the Ole Miss beat writer. Now, I tell you what a beat writer was, right?
You did. That's the guy that works for a paper that covers a particular team.
Or school.
So he's an Ole Miss guy.
Yeah, he's Ole
Whatever
Miss.
happens there with the sports,
so,
he's on.
I've got a lot of questions for him, and it's not always concerning football.
Okay.
But it's concerning internal and external things.
This ought to be good.
Yes, sir.
Let's not waste another minute. Well, we're going to take a minute to hear from one of our sponsors, and we're going to be back in a moment with tonight's guest, Michael Katz, right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Michael, welcome to the show. Thank you for being part of our guest with this week, and we've had you on a couple times before. It's been a couple years before we had you, but boy, you've got a great career going, and just tell people kind of some of the things that you do.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. It's kind of crazy. Time's kind of flying by. This is my 5th season covering Ole Miss. Got here in 2021, and it's just sort of it's flown by. But I cover all Ole Miss stuff. Obviously, football season's taking priority right now, but basketball, baseball, we try to cover a little bit of everything for the Daily Journal.
Okay, well, listen, tell the football game is kind of on everybody's mind. It was some people dubbed it the Kiffin Bowl. What were your first of all? What's your thoughts about the game itself? Ole Miss, it seemed like they played several games like this where they just go into a lull at some time, whether it was against Kentucky or Georgia or maybe I think there was South Carolina. It just seemed to, and that game kind of reminded me of the other 3 or 4 games. You know, they go through a period of time where they just seemed like they give up some big plays and let the other team back in the game.
Yeah, this isn't a team that is necessarily going to blow a lot of people out. Last year's team, that was a team that had the firepower and players to do that sort of thing. It just never felt like this was going to be that kind of team. But to their credit, they're winning the close games this year. Last year, I think their wins were by like 30 points each, but they did not win a single one-score game last season. And they've won, almost all of their SEC wins have come by one score. So, have some of these games been a little closer than they should be? Yeah, let's be honest. Florida was not exactly They had 3 wins for a reason. They fired the coach. They're kind of all over the place, but they're still very talented. DJ Lagway's a really talented quarterback. So, I'm not surprised it was, I think what the final line was 11.5 or something like that. I'm not surprised it was around there. But yeah, I mean, this is a team that, again, isn't necessarily going to, blow people out, but they're finding ways to win these games. They run the ball really, really well. Again, something they did not do last year particularly well. And I think that's helping to close out these sort of games. Would you like to not give up a couple of, really big deep balls to Lagway and make things interesting? Of course, even that 4th down throw, that almost got tipped to a Florida player. I thought Kentucky from last year was happening all over again. But, this team does what it needs to do to get the wins, even if they're not pretty. And I do think that there's something to be said for that, especially when, that was not the case last year when they lost 3 games by 13 total points.
Yeah, well, the last couple games, especially, I noticed maybe starting with I think the Oklahoma game and the South Carolina game for sure, and this Florida game the other night, they seem to control the time of possession, and it's getting out of hand. Like, they had the ball for almost 38 minutes the other night, and is Kiffin kind of just dependent on the running game more this year because of that, or is he just trying to help his defense stay on the sideline some?
Probably a little bit of both, but I think one of the big things with Lane Kiffin offenses, and I know we get so enamored with the quarterback play, and he obviously does a great job with quarterbacks, but his best teams have always run the ball really well, and last year they didn't, and it cost them. They probably, if they're able to run the ball like this last year, that team loses maybe 1 game, maybe goes undefeated if they're able to run the ball like they can now. So they kind of went back to the roots a little bit in terms of wanting to get back to running the ball, and Keywan Lacey has been an incredible pickup for them out of Missouri. I think he 224 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think he's got 19 touchdowns this year. He's already got the single season school record. He's got 1,000 yards now. I think that this is more of what Lane Kiffin offenses are supposed to look like. It's a lot of running the ball, and then chunk plays from your quarterback when you can get them, and then quarterback runs as well. So I think this, last year they obviously Jackson Dart's an incredible player, 1st-round pick for a reason. But I think they kind of got forced into throwing more than they probably wanted to because they simply couldn't run the ball, and this year they have really emphasized doing that, and it's hard to argue with the results. They're grinding teams down, they're winning games ugly, and they're able to close out these close games in ways they couldn't do it last year.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of things about the game the other night I was very impressed with. Ole Miss seems like they got one of their better offensive lines in several years, and of course, Lacey just was making. I mean, he was making a lot of tackles, but I tell you what, Trinidad came up with some great 3rd and short and 4th and short for 1st downs for them to keep drives alive. I have one question for you. You've been around Kiffin. I remember you told us one time you were at USC as a student when he was out there coaching. When he had the 4th down and just a couple yards to go, well, he had 4th and goal late in the ball game, and he was only ahead by I'm not sure, maybe. I can't remember what he was actually ahead by. I know he was ahead by 3 points. 27-24 in the last couple minutes of the game. And he goes for it down there on 4th and goal when a field goal would have put him at least 6 up, which means Florida would have had to come down and score a touchdown. Kiffin seems this year to be relying more on his field goal kicker than he has in the past several years. What was your thoughts when he went for it? Did you think he should, or I mean, your opinion? I'm not asking you what as a coach, I'm just asking you, did you think he should have kicked the field goal? I know it worked out really well for him, but what was your thoughts?
I mean, I think the points probably made sense there, but I think pinning them, listen, if you don't score and they're at their own 1 yard line, I think you probably feel pretty good about that situation. So I understand it. I guess I personally probably would have taken the points because, again, then you're forcing them to score a touchdown. All they needed was a field goal after that. So, I probably would have taken the points, but I understand kind of living with it and being, hey, if we don't get it, they're going to have to drive 99 yards, and we don't think you can do that in a minute, whatever was left in the game. So I get it. I personally, I probably would. Again, you've got one of the best kickers in the country, and this is a game that you really can't lose. So I probably would have taken the points, but I get it, and that's just he's a gambler. He does these sorts of things, and you kind of live with it and die by it. And this time it worked out.
What did you think about the pass interference call that was overturned against Ole Miss? Did that look like pass interference to you? Because I know some of the Florida writers and sitting in front of me, they were almost incensed by it.
Yeah, I had just gotten on the field, so I didn't have a great look at it. I think I saw it on the Jumbotron a little bit. It was, when they threw the flag, and then I saw the replay, I was like, I can see this being a pass interference situation. I was honestly surprised I picked it up. They don't usually do that sort of thing, so that was a little bit surprising. I'm going to be honest. From my vantage point and from the replay, I thought it was probably going to be a flag, but they decided to change their minds for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, I just remember watching action from the press box at that time that the guy that was on the line of scrimmage, he walked up to the defensive back. He was waving him, the defensive referee, and he was waving him down there to talk to him. And then they talked for a minute, and then the white hat came in, and then it was decided that it wasn't. But I'm sure that was a crucial play in the game, and you don't like for things to end just like that. But it came out good for the Rebels. Listen, let me ask you something. This is off of the football. It's going into the coaching thing, and I know that you hear a lot, just like we do. I'm not hearing a lot of names coming up down there in Florida for the coaching search. Should Ole Miss fans be concerned about that? As far as I mean, we're only hearing one name.
Yeah,
is there any other names out there?
I mean, it really does sort of seem like they're really all in on Lane, and LSU is still in the hunt too. So there's a lot going on right now, and I think it's probably frustrating for fans because obviously you would love to know one way or the other. And if nothing else, like you've got a 10-1 team right now that is, if they take care of business, is going to make the playoff, and no one's talking about how well the team is doing because everybody wants to talk about the coaching search and or what might be a coaching search and all the places Lane Kiffin might end up. So I mean, Lane never talks about this stuff during the season. That's just always sort of been the way he operates. But there's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of rumor, a lot of people saying a lot of different things. I think it's very possible, and you've got a team that is on the verge of doing something it's never done before, and all we can talk about is and are trying to figure out is he going to be the coach? So he seems to be the number one target for Florida. I honestly haven't even seen any other names come up because I think it's Lane Kiffin or bust, at least from what it sounds like.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a very crucial hire for Scott Strickland down there, the AD. if he gets this wrong, he might be in trouble himself. You know how that goes with ADs. But listen, I know Kiffin and Keith Carter seem to have a great relationship. If Kiffin was going to leave, and he knew now today that he was going to leave, do you think he would have told Carter to prepare Carter for this, or do you think he would just keep quiet? Because it seems like, I mean, from Ole Miss fans I talked to, I got a text this morning. Do you know if he leaves, you know, he's probably going to ride this out for the playoffs, but what about high school signing day and the portal and the dates on the portal and all this? If he left late, you know, even 2 or 3 weeks, toward the end of December, do you think that it'd be a mass exit, a transfer of players and recruits backing out? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the timeline makes this just so interesting in terms of when the playoff is and the portal windows and recruiting and all those sorts of things. Obviously, Lane and Keith do have a really good relationship, but I do think, like, the second Keith knows one way or the other, like, if he knows that Lane isn't coming back, I can't imagine that he would be coaching them in the playoff. I just think that would be just a tough look for you to be like, hey, yes, our coach is leaving for another SEC school, but we're going to let you coach this thing through. I think that would be a tough look. So I don't know if Lane knows what he's doing yet. I think he's, as we saw with Auburn a few years ago, there were a lot of twists and turns in that one, and I'm sure there's probably a few left in this one as well. So, but yeah, it would be tough for me to see him coaching if they knew that he was leaving. If he tipped his hand or he gave Keith a heads up. I think whenever he lets Keith know, it's either over or he's going to give that extension. I don't see a situation where he coaches it out if they know for sure that he's leaving.
If Texas would somehow upset A&M, and you got Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss with one loss each going into after the regular season, how would the SEC pick the two teams for the championship game? And the second part of that question, should Ole Miss even go to the SEC championship game, or should they just rest at home?
Yeah, so that's someone posted. I think the SEC office posted the scenarios, and it's a little convoluted. I think Ole Miss's path is a little bit tougher. I do believe there is still one, but I think a lot of things have to go right for them to do that. But I think it does bring up the bigger question: do you really even want to play in it? Because one, it's another chance for a loss, and two, it's another chance for an injury. And with the 12-team field, what you don't need to win your conference to get in there. Obviously, you'd love to have a bye, but I don't think it's worth playing. In some coaches' minds, worth playing another game for, and I kind of agree with that. The conference championships have kind of been diminished with the increasing of the field, and I think you're maybe not getting. It doesn't always make sense to want to win your conference anymore. At least in the championship game part of it. If you win in the regular season, obviously that's great, but. Conference title games just don't really mean as much as they used to, and again, it's you're already playing. If you make it all the way to the national championship, you're playing 16 games. I don't think you want to have to play another one potentially. So I think it makes a lot of sense not to be in there if it comes down to it.
Hey, Michael, this is Marshall. I kind of gave you a little warning to start that when I showed up, we were out of time, and man, time flies when you're having fun. I think you've given us a real good update on what's going on at the University of Mississippi, and we appreciate your time and taking it and be with us today. Going to ask you to hold on just a second. Dale and I are going to take a break to hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back with tonight's final segment of the Brouhaha after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome back, everybody. Michael knows the score when it comes to Ole Miss, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's over there every day. I mean, he's got his ear. He didn't tell you a lot of stuff. He's a part-time professor up there in Ole Miss Journalism School now. He won the Wyoming and the Mississippi Sports Writers of the Year award in both states. He went to USC.
Yeah.
And when he was a student reporter when Kiffin was out there as football coach.
So he's a young guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say he's young. He's probably, I would think, now Kiffin he was, oh Lord now.
It's been a while now, though.
Yeah, Michael's probably in his early 30s.
That's a young guy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Me too. Hey, I think 50's young.
Yeah, the 70's mighty close.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, anyway, we won't get into that. Well, I'm excited. Talking about Kiffin, I mean, why can't he just say no? I mean, well, and I understand not addressing it, but I mean, he's having fun with the whole thing. He's got to be.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time I was in a conversation with another guy, and we were talking about salaries and everything, and I said, yeah, so and so wants $50 million, and the team only wants to pay him like $45 million. And my dad looked up in the conversation. My dad wasn't a big sports fan. I mean, he kind of knew what was going on, but he just he just wasn't a big sports fan. Let's just say this. And my dad just asked, "How much money do you have to shop at Walmart?" And that was kind of like, yeah. How much money do you need? I don't think it's about money.
Yeah.
I think the bottom line is. Hey, it's like Saban said, you got to set the ground rules when you go in as the coach. All right, I don't want any interference. I don't want anybody to tell me who to play. I want to know how much NIL money that you're going to let me have. I'm not worried about facilities, really. I'm more worried about how I can get these players to come everywhere I'm going. But what worries me about the whole situation, and I asked Michael the question, why hadn't Florida been floating any other names out here? And if Florida doesn't get Kiffin, who do they go after? If LSU doesn't get Kiffin, who do they go after? I mean, I think Kiffin is like, I remember when Eli Manning came out of high school and he signed with Ole Miss, then all the other quarterbacks started signing.
Yeah.
They were waiting to see where he went. Because he was thinking about Texas, he was thinking about Virginia, and he's thinking about Ole Miss. Well, then all of the prime quarterback. Well, this is the deal with Kiffin. Everybody's waiting for him to make up his mind before these openings start. I don't think anybody's. I don't know if Auburn has, Arkansas. I think Virginia Tech's talking to Franklin at Penn State, but Kiffin's the master right now.
Who'd have thunk it?
He's controlling all the college football hirings, and he's never won anything.
I tell you, he's been left on the tarmac waiting for a plane. He's an interesting guy.
They got an offensive lineman that was talking the other night at the press conference after the game. I think it's Dago Pounds. It's like San Diego. Dago Pounds, and he said, well, the reason I came to Ole Miss was I kept seeing Kiffin on television and said, man, I'd love to play with that guy. So, that's kind of the way it is. People want to, I think his players really respect him and play hard for him because he is really, I used to see high school coaches back in the day, they would set up one play 10 plays before. They just start doing certain things to set up one. Well, Kiffin's like that. He's playing chess with the other team. So he's sought after and is most deserving. I mean, he's the only Ole Miss coach in history to have 3 straight 10-win seasons, and to top Johnny Vaught, you've got to be pretty good.
Pretty good. Listen, Dale, we're out of time. Dale and I want to give another holler out to Michael for being with us tonight. We thank you, all of our fans and listeners, for being with us tonight. And we want to remind you that you can keep up with us during the week by Follow us on Facebook at the Brouhaha, and all of the shows are cataloged for you, whether you can listen to them on demand at our YouTube channel at the Brouhaha. But now it's time to say goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale. We'll see y'all next week for more of the Brouhaha. Get us out of here, Jamie.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Dale McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.